Yeah. What's up, guys? Nasir coming at you with another reaction video. You know what time it is, your boys. We back ranting some new news regarding Dragon Ball Fighters. Now, I know I normally don't do too many Twitter videos because I like to normally have like some big thing to show, but I just wanted to do this because one, it has been a minute since we like got anything fighters related. It's, you know, for us fighters players, it's been a little minute since we've had some content to talk about. Two, this is coming a little bit before Evo comes. I don't know exactly what day, but me and my homie JD, what we always do in a big fighting game tournament, whether it's Evo, whether it's, you know, some of the smaller tournaments that aren't on the size of Evo, when those always happen, we're in a Discord call just in case we gotta catch some reactions. That's how I got my my Mortal Kombat one where JD was in there. We was sitting in there watching tournaments and they just threw it up on the screen. That's how we got the Budokai Tenkai, or nah, I was about to say Budokai Tenkai G4. We don't know what it's gonna be called, but the new Budokai that I was sitting in the call with him when we were waiting on it. We're gonna be doing that for Evo this year. Same thing, send the Discord call when Evo goes. We're gonna be watching, and then if anything interesting happens, y'all know I'm gonna do a live reaction for y'all. I've not read this yet. I've had this pulled up for hours and I've been like avoiding reading it because I was trying to figure out some stuff with OBS. Because y'all can see my background right here. I tried to have it blurred like I used to, but the plugin for OBS isn't working anymore, and I downloaded a new one and I was like trying to experiment with it, but I haven't figured out how to work it yet. But I wanted to blur the background, but I'll have to figure that out for the next time I do face cam, which doing face cam has been a minute since I've done that. I'm gonna go ahead and just move my camera real quick. There we go. So it's out of the way, so I can click on this and hopefully it won't be like too in front of the text. But yeah, let me know if y'all are excited, and let's go ahead and see what they're talking about. So thank you so much, or thank you very much for playing the balance adjustment patch for version 1.32 released at the end of May. So May, June, July, August. It's been 3 months of that. This does not feel like 3 months, feel like way longer than that. But like I said, it's been a minute since they announced anything either. We also thank you for the many comments regarding the patch. Currently we are preparing for the second round of balance adjustments based on your feedback. Yeah, so for those who forgot, they did announce, because first of all, the first balance patch was something that we weren't even close to getting. If I look over here, it's because I have my OBS on this screen, and then obviously I have the tweet over on this side. So if I'm not looking right here, then my bad. It's just I'm not used to staring back at the camera again. But basically, they gave us a balance patch that we weren't supposed to be getting. They said that after Rollback update was supposed to come out, we weren't supposed to be getting anything, but it's been getting pushed back more and more. So it's like they had to give us something. So they gave us a balance patch, and then they said we're going to give you an additional one after that to correct anything that we may want to change that we didn't do in the initial one. So they're talking about right here, they're preparing the second balance patch. This one specifically based on our feedback. The first one was just a kind of like, we're doing a balance patch, but we're doing it just in a way just to see what the community is wanting, because obviously the community voices their opinion loudly on this game. So it was like, all right, we're doing this one as like a, hey, we're changing a lot about the game, maybe not in the way some players wanted. Now the second balance patch will be them taking feedback, hopefully, and doing it in more of a way that players want it. And currently we are, the patch will be released sequentially on each platform at the end of August. I said it right, sequentially. Okay, yeah. I didn't know if I read that word wrong, but it says at the end of August. So at the end of this year, after Evo, because fighters will be at Evo, yeah. So after Evo, we will announce more information as soon as the details are finalized, okay? We would like to thank everyone for your continued patience and waiting for the public beta test for Rollback netcode on Steam. Yeah, and I was gonna say they have the Rollback on Steam, which means that I get to play fighters on PC. I haven't touched it in a while since like I last was trying to grind ranked. I grinded ranked for a little bit, and then I haven't touched it since, because Street Fighter, Grand Blue, Project L, all this fighting game news and betas and shit have been coming out recently. We hope you will wait a little longer until we've announced the timing of the public beta test. The Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour 2023-2024 will start tomorrow at Evo 2023. Our team, oh wait, is Evo tomorrow? If it's tomorrow, I did not know that. Our team is very happy as so many of you participated in the qualifiers. We wish the best of luck to all players and hope that many people meaning that more people around the world will be able to see their heroic performances. The Dragon Ball FighterZ team will do our best to make this game even more enjoyable for you. Thank you again for your continued support. So, a lot to unpack here. Basically, nothing regarding the announcement of the rollback update. It's just telling us, hey, thank you for playing the last balance patch, the new one coming out at the end of August. So we have a time frame for that, end of August. The public beta test, we do not have any announcement for it. They just say, we hope you just wait a little longer until we've announced the timing of the public beta. They could announce it at EVO, because it would be kind of whack for them to show up to EVO and, you know, have a fighterz tournament with no announcement of anything. Like, we know we're getting a second balance adjustment, so it's not like they can surprise us with that, you know. And it's like, overall, I'm not expecting anything, but like, I'm gonna pull up some tweets here, because I saw Lotus tweeting earlier about some stuff, and I wanted to like look at some of them. Oh, okay, he's streaming right now. I saw that. I didn't see that tweet earlier, and that's why I was like, what the fuck is that? Where was it? Is it this one? Because he did a couple of tweets. Yeah, he was reacting to Dotto. He just said, I want to feel something again. I'll take anything, actually. Or I'll take actually anything. Yeah, that's the kind of state the fighterz community is in. We're all just waiting for shit. And he said, you and I both, they actually broke my ankles with the rollback announcement last EVO, which is crazy to think. It's been a year since this got announced. But here we are a year later, and we haven't gotten a single sniff of it. Being patient and grateful has been a lot harder these days. Then he said, he was responding to somebody, said, why is rollback taking so long? Didn't they announce it like 2 years ago? He said, well, retroactively implementing it into a game that wasn't originally designed with it in mind is certainly a difficult and expensive process. I don't have the answers. I just feel just as in the dark as you guys. And like, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like the game was never supposed to get it. It was just a thing that other games were getting it, and we as fans were requesting it. And it was like, the more we asked for it, the more that they were like, huh, wait a minute. My bad. I had a podcast that was not started yet, but I was like in the waiting for it. And so it started playing in the background, and I was like, who's talking in my ear? But like I said, I feel like the thing that happened with the game was they added it to Grand Blue. Some of the Grand Blues that haven't came out yet, they're adding it to what was the game that we were just playing? The game that just had an open beta and a closed beta, and I was playing Vera in it. I can't remember the name of the game right now. I'd have to probably pull that hoe up to like remember that shit. But like, Grand Blue, that's it. Blaze Blue, they were adding rollback to Cross Tag and Central Fiction. Grand Blue has rollback in the new Grand Blue that's coming out. I don't know if they added it to Grand Blue versus Fantasy Versus. I don't know if they added it to that one, but they've been adding it to a lot of their games. And fighterz was kind of like, are you gonna add it to this one? They said no at one point. Earlier they were like, nah, we're not gonna be adding rollback to fighterz, or we didn't have a plan to. And then it was like, well, everybody was wanting it because you're adding it to all these other older games, so why not add it to this game? And I think that they had enough interest in it, and they were like, yeah, we are adding it to all this older stuff, so why not? And then that turned into, okay, we're gonna add it. But we all thought when they announced them adding it, this was like, okay, they've already planned out all this stuff. They already had it all majorly worked out. We're probably gonna get a beta for it within a couple of months. And then before the end of that year, we were hoping to get it. Worst case, middle of next year or beginning of next year, we'd have it. It took a whole full year for you to announce it and still not get an open beta for it. So like, I feel like a lot of our expectations for when it would come out were super high because the other ones didn't seem like they took as long. But I feel like those ones might have been started in terms of the process of putting rollback in a lot earlier. I feel like this was a lot more they just were like, we're gonna do it. Not, we planned this out a couple of years ago and we're gonna do it. Because fighterz is 5 years old now, but it's not like crazy old to the point where like it's been around for like 8+ years, and they're like, you know what, we could throw Rollback in. This isn't like one of our like biggest games that people are still playing and actively wanting support on. Was there any other tweets for if I may ask, as someone who plays the game in a more casual competitive sense, what is it about everyone being busted over? If I may ask, as someone who plays the game in a more casual competitive sense, what is it about everyone being busted in their own ways such a turnoff? I see it in a way that since it's Dragon Ball, everyone should kind of be nutty in one way or another. Maybe I just couldn't read that tweet right, or maybe it just didn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm having a slow moment, but to me, I could not read that tweet and understand it. For me, I think it's more about the risk/reward than anything else. It's really skewed. The game encourages you to be as wild as possible and get huge rewards for it, with little to no risk at all for being random and nutty and throwing out crazy moves. Oh, yeah, I definitely have to reload this tweet to understand that. He's talking about like the actual gameplay of fighterz, and that's like been something that has been turning a lot of pro players and just a lot of people that played it not as casually off from the game. It's like, and me being one of those people, I don't think this was a turn off for me from the game, but it was just more of like when other games come out that are fun, it's gonna make me play stuff like fighterz a little less. I still like fighterz, but I'm not gonna play it as much, because like the thing that like happened with Lotus is he played the game so much, and then it came time for fighterz to get older, and with more and more updates to it, they kept changing the game more and more from what he wanted and what he liked, and that was kind of what majority of like the people that play it a little bit more than casually, they were like, yo, you keep turning this game into a game that casuals can just scrub you out on and, you know, do all this scrubby stuff, and it's not fun. And they looked at it, from my opinion, they looked at it like we're making the game more accessible for others, and it's like, yeah, but at the same time you're also just making the game scrubbier and not fun. Because as somebody who, I forgot exactly what rank I got to on my PS4, I'd have to go back to one of my old videos to remember. If I remember to put it in, I'll throw it up on the screen. I'll try to remember, I might not, don't hold me on that. But as somebody who got decently like around the God of Destruction rank, around that rank, and I fought Grand Priest and I fought Angel ranks and all that stuff and won my fair share of matches. I'm not saying I was the best at the game, but as somebody who could be an Angel rank and a Grand Priest sometimes, not like 100% of the time, but it's like as someone who could hold his own in playing fighterz, it was like at a certain point you could tell that some people got to the highest rank just because they were random. And someone like me who tries not to be just random mash buttons with top tiers and can two-touch you with any character, just learning a basic ass combo, it's like it's discouraging as hell to play against those people. And it's like you are clearly better than them, but because they just picked a character that just was more broken or had more broken stuff than your character did, then that's like it made it not fun. And what a lot of people don't like is they made the game like that and didn't put a whole bunch of defensive mechanics in it to not punish people for playing as recklessly. Like that's one thing people really want. They really want them to like either remove stuff from certain characters or give stuff to all characters. But then they kind of did that with the last patch and people were still mad because like they lowered the fusions and all the broken character, the top tier broken air quotes around it, they lower all of those characters by doing stuff like, oh, we're going to make their meter gain way less than it was, half for some characters, 25% for other characters. And it's like that's an effective change. Some people called it lazy, and I can kind of see why. It's because you didn't actually touch any of their moves. They're still movement wise and the way that they play were really good, but it's like you didn't take a top tier character and make them mid tier. You took a top tier character and made them slightly less top tier, only because you can't run all of these characters together and get the insane meter gain that you used to get, but you can still run two of those characters with the like base Goku and still get a decent meter gain, because base Goku has an assist that charges meter. Other people have assists that get meter, and it's like it didn't just make them unplayable. And I think that's kind of what like the fan base wanted low key. It was like, we want you to meaningfully touch the top tiers. like meaningfully bring them down, not just here's their meter gain, nerf it. Cause yeah, it's an effective change, but it's not the one they wanted. What everybody wanted was take these top tiers, make their buttons worse, do something to the fundamental way that they play the game besides just the way that they gain meter, and change that so that they're not as good. And I agree with it, but at the same time, I'm like, as long as they bring everybody up, then it's fine. But at the same time, they kind of didn't bring everybody up. Some characters got decent changes, some characters got changes that didn't do really anything to them, and that's kind of been the thing that fighterz has struggled with a lot. They'll change the game and some characters get changed crazily. Some characters like Z-Brawl, they go from the best character in the game to not the best character in the game, an okay character, to now he's going back to like being a really good character in the game. And it's like a character like Goku Black, who's always been a to okay character, and it's like, bro, Goku Black ever since the start of the game has never been top tier, like to the point where it's like not choosing Goku Black is like a you chose a good character. He's always been you chose an okay character, and you're gonna now have to use that okay character against really good characters. So like, one thing that I think that they can do is to just change the way like moves work. If you're gonna take certain things away from characters, don't take certain things away from certain characters, but then let certain characters have it. Because that's one thing Lotus has said for a while, and I've agreed with. He'll be like, they'll take making Lariat as crazy as it was from Bardock, but then still give like Blue Gogeta Lariat, and it's crazier than Bardock's might have been, or on the same level of crazy. But now Bardock can't do it, but Blue Gogeta can, and they don't take it away from him. You take people having crazy 2Ms away from them and give them like slightly worse versions of it, but then you still let Vegito and Gogeta almost 2M you from full screen. It's like, bro, what was the point of changing that if you're gonna just make them have it? Yeah, because they're DLC fusions, everybody's like, they gotta be broken, but it's like, you could have still left that shit with the other characters. Like level 3 Oki, very few characters still have that shit, and some characters do, some characters don't, and it's like, bro, you could have just made it so everybody has it, and then it could have been the thing everybody does, instead of making it you pick this character, you're just gonna be fucking mixing everybody up, and you have a character and then you can't do anything. It's like certain things they made decisions on, and it was like counterintuitive to what it seemed like they wanted to do. Some of them counterintuitive, some of them just flat out were just making okay characters bad and making great characters even better, and that's why they were like cemented at like the top tier. But let me know down below how y'all feel about fighterz. I feel like the game is in a state right now where it's technically the most like playable version, but it's still the most like annoying version, because like right now a lot of different characters are playable and viable, and you can play a lot of characters, versus like I remember like early season 3, because that's when I really came in and started playing. It was like, bro, certain characters were just not good to pick, certain characters were not good to pick, certain characters were, you'd be dumb not to pick them if you're trying to play at a high level in this game, you know. But let me know how y'all feel down below. Drop down in the comments if you want to come down to Discord and like discuss this shit. We can, because like I've been playing fighterz for a minute. All my homies played fighterz at one point to various different levels of, you know, high level, and just overall, just like I like to engage with stuff like this because it's interesting to see other people's perspective. Because sometimes I get why some people would be pissed about the last patch, and some people would be like, I think they did a decent patch, it could have been better though. But like, I can see all that. But let me know down in the comments how y'all feel. Like this video, subscribe if you're new and want to see more Dragon Ball FighterZ content. I'll see you next time. Peace.
I wanna be good, but I'm stuck being bad. I wanna get money and chill by myself. I wanna send money, my family need help. I need me a girl just to help with the stress. Somebody to care, this hair, this rare everywhere. My fault is heavy, this chain is heavy. I know they gon' hate me cause haters is plenty. I rode in an Altima, bro, not a Chevy. Those times were heavy.